Hello, this is Hank Green. I'm recording me making a video. So what I just did is I imported my clips from my card that goes inside of my camera, and I put them through this program, which is called MPEG Streamclip, and I converted it. Oh, now you can see my whole desktop. That's embarrassing. Don't take a screenshot and share it because it's messy, and who knows what's on here that's confidential. Um, and yeah, so I did that, and then I converted them into a format that Final Cut it likes. So I'm using Final Cut Pro. It's going to be very similar to Final Cut Express for anybody who uses Final Cut Express, which is I think $200. Pro is like 1,000, but obviously I do this professionally, so I have Pro. Um, so now let's start taking the magic out of all of it. Let me import my files. So I put the files onto my desktop, of course, because it's all a freaking mess. And I'm doing date modified because I thought I would find it, but I didn't. So what did I call it? I called it how to vlog. There it is. I don't know why I didn't find it, and here they are. So these are the converted files that I actually converted of the vlog. And so there's a few things here. This one is just flowers that I might use later in the video. This one is outside vlog. This one, what's this one? This one is vlog 1. So that's actually part of the vlog. This one is vlog 2. This one is cat. This one, vlog 3. So I'm naming these so that I know what they are. Clearly, that's vlog 4. That's a 5. So, I thought I took some more footage than that, but I guess I didn't. So we've got vlog 1, 2, 3, 4. That's my base. Actually, I think 3 might just be Hank Sock. It is. It's just Hank Sock. So 3 is Hank Sock. And good. So we've got vlog 1, 2, 4 now. I'm putting this into the clip, and then we're changing the dimensions up there so that it can be correct. And now here we got. This is too close. I don't like to accidentally click on programs while I'm editing. So this is my format. This is like a slightly modified format of the what most people do with Final Cut Express. But I have a little more room here and here. So this is Final Cut, and now we're going to play.
Good morning, John. Good morning, John. Good morning, John. Today I want
So that was 3 Good Morning Johns.
to do something a little bit different. Good morning.
But
Good
that's
morning, John.
not
Today I want to do
by
something a
any
little bit
means
different
going to be
that
the
might
end
not
of
be
it.
appealing to everyone. I'm going to make a video about making videos.
That looked like a pretty good take.
And if you don't,
That was the one I decided.
That might not be appealing. Good morning.
So basically there's only 2 tools that I use a lot. There's the B, which is the blade. It's like a razor blade, and there's the A, which is just select. So I push B and A a lot. My B and A buttons are probably going to break before any other buttons on my keyboard. So pushing up my glasses. Because I'm always pushing up my glasses. So I make my cut generally right where I start making noise.
Good morning. Good morning, John. Today
Except I made it in the wrong place. I do that all the time, Tong. I do that all the time, Tong, apparently.
Good morning, John. Today I want to do something a little bit different that might not be appealing to everyone. I'm going to make a video about making videos.
See how I turn away right after I say that? That's actually not good. Because if I wanted to use a little bit of silence there, I wouldn't have it. But I don't. So S sounds go on for a while. That's like 3 frames of S. You don't need all 3 frames of those S to get the idea of the S across. So oftentimes I'll cut one of those off.
And if you don't care about making video,
So what I'm doing right now is I am listening to find the best take, and when I hear a take start, or when I hear a take that didn't work end, I will move my mouse cursor to the playhead, sort of like to mark in my brain where the beginning of the next take is.
I apologize, but I will do my best to make it entertaining no matter what.
See, I tapered off the end there.
If you don't care about making videos, I will. of course, if you don't care about making videos, I promise, I'm going.
So I decided to break that into 2 bits, so that I wouldn't have to do the takes over and over again to try and make more. And also, it's nice to have a jump cut to keep things visually interesting.
Of course, if you don't care about making videos, I promise.
See all those S's? I don't need all those S's. I'm going to leave them in, though, because I might do something with them afterward.
I'm going to do my best about.
Why did I even try that one? Yeah.
I'm going to do my best about. I'm going to do my best. I'm
gonna make sure that I'm recording now. Yes, I appear to be recording. This is my timer. Already 5 minutes. That was not what I meant to do. Let's just take this into text so that you don't have something staring at you. You don't have Hank Sock staring at you.
I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do my best to make it entertaining, nonetheless.
There we go. That's pretty good. See that one little bit of noise? That's where I make the cut. I don't leave any non-noise in front of that. That would be horrible. That would drive me crazy. It drives me crazy when I watch other people's vlogs and they do that.
Do my best to make it entertaining, nonetheless.
More S's.
I'm going to do my best to make it entertaining, nonetheless.
Oh, well, that was almost better, but then it wasn't.
I'm going to do my best to make it entertaining, nonetheless.
So that was good. I don't know if that was better. See, you have to. I get to choose now between those 2 takes. I think I'm going to take the first one.
Entertaining, nonetheless.
That was a little too silly. Probably people would like that, but not everyone. And I don't know why I got my guitar out here. I was like, I'm going to play a song, and I decided that's too hard. So we've edited the first clip. I'm going to I pushed delete there, which the big backspace delete. If it was a Windows keyboard, it would say backspace, and that makes, if you are on a big keyboard, your Mac laptop keyboards won't have this. That actually cuts and leaves the space, and if you push the little delete button, it actually brings it in. So now we've got 3 takes out of how many minutes of footage?
Today I want to do something a little bit different that might not be appealing to everyone. I'm going to make a video about making videos. Of course, if you don't care.
See, that was a really bad cut. I don't know what's up with that. So I'm going to listen to that again.
And if you don't care, I'm going to make a video about making videos.
So apparently I need all that S, because that did not sound good. This is maybe going to get
Of course, if you don't care. That might not be appealing to everyone. I'm going to make a video about making videos. Of course, if you don't care.
It's also, I feel like I didn't get all the beginning of that. So I'm going to pull that out a couple frames, see if I missed anything.
And of course, if you don't.
I did. I missed the and.
And of course, if you don't care about.
And then I'm going to actually pull this a couple of frames over onto that S. So you get the S sound, but you don't get the boringness of the S sound. So this is nitty-gritty, but that's what I do.
I'm going to make a video about making videos. And of course, if you don't.
And I might actually pull that out a couple more frames.
Video about making videos. And of course, if you don't care about making videos, I promise.
Got another S there. And I'm going to pull that over the S.
I promise. I'm going to do my best to make it entertaining, nonetheless.
And then another S sound. So we've got those 3 clips, and you could. That's basically the technique. And I'm going to be doing a little bit more extra different stuff than that, but I'm not sure that it's going to be much more useful. So you might want to just stop. Maybe I'll put an annotation where it gets interesting again.
Okay, first let's talk about what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to talk about your equipment.
One of the worst things is when you had no idea that there was something stuck in your teeth.
Talk about what
I
I'm
hate
not
that.
going to do. I'm not going to talk about your equipment.
I looked away too soon there. But I can cover that up.
I don't care what kind of camera you have. I don't care what kind of computer you have or what kind of software you have. I don't care what kind of camera you have. I don't care what kind of computer you have or what kind of software you have. This is not about that.
So, let us now try and figure out what to do here. I'm just making this break so that I don't get confused.
Talk about your equipment.
So eye contact is very important. I didn't talk about that. Eye contact is very important.
To talk about your equipment. I don't.
So there's like one frame where I looked away, and I hate that. I do not like to look away. So I'm going to pull this above in front of the place where I looked away. And I can't imagine that.
I'm not going to talk about your equipment. I don't care what kind of camera you have. I don't.
Actually, I might want to move that over a little bit more. So you can't imagine that this actually matters, right?
I don't care what kind of camera you have. I'm not going to talk about your equipment. I don't care what kind of camera you have. I don't care what kind of computer you have.
It's important to me.
This is not about that.
So
That skill is honed by lack. I believe,
I declare, as expert.
that skill is.
That was a long I. I is a long noise too.
I believe that
it's a
skill is
diphthong.
honed by lack,
I.
and there's no reason to have a sword made of Valerian steel if you're just learning how to wield a knife.
Nerd jokes.
Let us talk first about how to look and sound. Talk first. So let us.
What I'm doing here is I'm gone from like loud and excited to calm, and that's another juxtaposition that's fun to play
about how
with.
to look and sound.
You wouldn't have ever thought that someone's thought goes into a vlog with this video, right?
Important, which is how to look and sound. So let us talk first about how to look and sound. So let us talk first about what's actually important, which is how to look and sound. Talk first about what's
I like that one because I actually say more.
So let us talk first about what's actually important, which is how to look and sound.
And gets the point that I wanted to get across better, which is important to actually get your point across.
Important thing, the rule of thirds. Divide your screen into thirds this way and this way.
I actually made a rule of thirds image that I'm going to put in here.
Divide your screen into thirds this way and this way.
It was not a very good hand gesture, but it will work.
And important elements should always fall on one of those lines of thirds.
There's some bit coming up that I might cut out because I always make my videos too long. But so I'm going to import my rule of thirds graphic that I made. So this is a 32-bit PNG, which means it preserves transparency, which means that when I throw this over this, you will see that you can see through it. And I might actually make that a little see-through. So down here, there's a see-through bar, and you can make it a little see-through. That actually also works for sound, to change your sound level, which I'm not doing because I have a good sound level now. Oh, did I frick? I do this all the time. I cut out the wrong thing. So that's another annoying, potentially annoying thing. You and you and you.
I believe that skill is honed by lack, and there's no reason to have a sword made of Valerian steel if you're just learning how to wield a knife. So let us talk first about what's actually important, which is how to look and sound.
I lost my D noise there. I lost my D. I just say sound. I don't say sound. It seems to be I'm screwing up way more than I usually do.
The rule of thirds. Divide your screen into thirds.
Where'd my rule of thirds graphic go? That's weird. It should not happen. It should still be there. Divide your screen into
this way and this way. Ideally, interestingly, and this is why the thing about vlogging is often your eyes and your mouth can fall on the rule.
Come on.
One of the interesting things about vlogging is that early on, both the eyes and the mouth were falling on those lines. Things about
So I might cut this out because it's not that interesting.
One of the interesting things about vlogging is that early on, both the eyes and the mouth were falling on those lines.
So give it a good wink there. See how my eyes and my mouth are both falling on those lines?
One of the interesting things about vlogging is that early on, both the eyes and the mouth were falling on those lines. But now that screens have gotten a little bit bigger, generally it's just the eyes that are falling on the line. a little bit.
Catherine just got home.
But now that screens have gotten a little bit bigger, generally it's just the eyes that are falling on the line.
You'll see that it's 3:20, and my goal is to be done by 5, which is probably not going to happen.
Because the eyes, not the mouth. Because the eyes.
This is true, by the way. I watch people all the time who have their eyes in the center of the frame, and it does not look
Because
good.
the eyes, not the.
That's a quick cut.
Because the eyes.
I often say things along with me, with my recorded self, which is weird.
Not the mouth. Actually are the most important things. Actually are the most important.
So this is me. I don't know what I'm going to say here. It's not in the script, and I'm not sure how I'm going to say it. So
Element of your frame.
that was a good one.
Are the most.
Another thing that you can notice here. Look at my eyes. Yeah, see right there? My eyes moved. They're going back and forth between the lens and the viewfinder, so I can frame myself. That I don't like that. I don't like that I do that. I should either look at one or the other. But sometimes when I'm looking just at the viewfinder, people are like, "Why aren't you looking at the lens?" And the closer you get to the camera, the more pronounced that can be. It looks like you're looking at a teleprompter or something. So that's annoying. But it's not the end of the world. Hopefully, you won't notice it all the time.
So something. I think that says something fundamental. I think it says something.
So when I'm talking fast, of course, I do lots of takes.
I think that says something fundamental about human nature. I'm just not sure what it is.
So that was a really good fast talk there. And I wanted it to be, because
I think that says something fundamental about human nature. I'm just not sure what it is.
And then that's kind of a good place for a bit of silence to differentiate between this and the next part of the video. So I left like 1 frame of silence there. It's just a breath of silence.
Now, how you sound. Imagine now.
And then I have a big punch to differentiate the next section. And this is also stuff I do subconsciously
now. How you sound. Imagine for a moment me going downstairs and talking to my wife the way that I talk while I'm vlogging.
That would be ridiculous.
That does not happen. That does not happen. This is not my normal talking voice. Does not.
Also, jump cuts, like when you're filming, it's important to actually move around the frame.
Sound. Imagine for a moment me going downstairs and talking to my wife the way that I talk while I'm vlogging.
I'm in a swirly chair, obviously, and then when I know that I'm going to reset, I actually move back, and then I decide that wasn't good enough, and then I decided that I would do it over here. And so I've moved, from like this area to this area, and when you do a jump cut and you just like stay in the same place, it's not as...
This does not happen. This is not...
It's not as cool,
my normal talking voice.
I don't know why. I'm not going to have it.
Surprise, surprise.
So let's see how... I'm actually going to put this over here. Yeah, nope. You can drag it out. So I've got my A. I'm switching back and forth between A and B all the time. I'm not saying when I do that because it's totally subconscious. But so you can go either under or over.
Best to make it entertaining.
It's a slightly different effect, but it basically does the same thing.
Nonetheless. Okay, first let's talk about what I'm not going.
You can get the S noise without the boredom of the S.
Going to do. I'm not going to talk about your equipment. I don't care what kind of camera you have. I don't care what kind of computer you have or what kind of software you have. This is not about that.
Also, Control G closes a gap, so that's nice. If you are not using Final Cut, then oh well. You will figure it out with your software.
Not about that! I believe that skill is honed by lack, and there's no reason to have a sword made of Valerian steel if you just...
I'm going to close all these gaps now to see how long my video is right now, so I can have a better idea of whether I should be cutting things out. It's about a minute long, which is good.
Screens have gotten a little bit bigger. Generally, it's just the eyes that are falling on the line.
So that is a good place for those to disappear. Also, I want to make those transparent, which I told you how to do earlier. Click on that and pull down the line a little bit. Yeah, that looks pretty good.
Divide your screen into thirds this way and this way. One of the interesting things about vlogging is that early on, both the eyes and the mouth were falling on those lines. But now that screens have gotten a little bit bigger, generally it's just the eyes that are falling on the line. Because the eyes, not the mouth.
So that all needs to be tightened. So I'm tightening here, and that's going to mean that I'm going to want to zoom in there and cut the end of those off so it doesn't bleed onto that.
Eyes that are falling on the line. Because the eyes...
Actually, that still is a little bit too much gap for me. I am a perfectionist.
Okay. Eyes that are falling on the line. Because the eyes, not...
And there's a big long S at the end of that.
Eyes, not the mouth.
There's a little, like, TH has like a little bit of it.
Mouth actually are the most important element of your frame.
And I left the mouth on. So the mouth gets to stay on top. It gets to be over that, and it's because that's the joke, is that I'm up there. So it's a visual joke. You want to keep the visual joke on top.
The most important element of your frame.
So you're not cutting it out.
Of your frame. I think that says something fundamental about human nature. I'm just not sure what it is.
So probably not going to need to overlap on that one.
Now, how you sound. It is. Now, how you sound. Imagine for a moment me going downstairs and talking to my wife the way that I talk while I'm vlogging.
Just like 2 frames of overlap.
That does not happen. This is not my normal talking voice. Surprise, surprise.
I've already recorded for 20 minutes. So, hopefully this is not boring as hell.
Imagine it. The way that I imagine it is that I'm on stage. The way that I imagine it is that I'm on a gigantic stage. And there is one person in the audience. And I'm talking to that one person, but I can't talk to them like a normal person because I'm on a gigantic stage. Imagine it is that...
That was a long little monologue. So you see the length of most of my clips, that's going to be above average. Nope. Control Z, A, B, the only buttons I push.
I'm like a normal person because I'm on a gigantic stage.
See, that is on the long end of the clip for me.
Now this is obviously a difficult thing to hone. You're not going to get your vlogging voice immediately. Now this is obviously a difficult thing. Now this is obviously a difficult thing to hone. You're not going to get your vlogging voice immediately. Watch early Vlogbrothers videos and see that we sucked too when we started.
So trying to keep the eye contact, despite the fact that I turned away really fast. Shouldn't have, but I did. That was another long clip, actually. I could, if I wanted to, go and like download, because I don't have old Vlogbrothers videos on my computer or anything, so I could go download them off of YouTube using keepvid.com, which only works with Safari for some reason on my computer. And then I would download that, and then I would I could put a clip of me early vlogging, so you could like see how bad I suck. But I don't think I'm gonna do that. So that's an idea. I have ideas while I'm editing that make the editing process take longer. And so like, you know, there's several different places in the creation of a video where I'm going to have an idea. I'm going to have an idea, like when I have the idea for the video, I'll have a bunch of ideas for how to make the video. I'll have an idea when I'm like writing stuff because I want to make sure that it's good and like writing it out and writing out an outline or a script. I do both of those. Sometimes I don't do either. And I have ideas while I'm filming, so I'll be like, stop, go get the cat. You need to put the cat in the video. Or, you know, put on a mustache, or Hank sock would be great here. And then I have ideas while I'm editing. And sometimes I will go and I'll turn the camera back on and I'll fill something in, like if I think of a really good joke. Sometimes I will pull things off the internet. Sometimes I'll put text on the screen, like if I say a really good "that's what she said" or something like that. And then, yeah, and then by the time you've exported the video, you can't really have any more ideas except for annotations and thumbnails and description stuff. So, yeah, the ideas throughout the entire process.
And it's nice that the one person, and it's nice that
I don't even know what I was talking about.
Sucked too when we started. That the one person, and it's nice that for me, the one person in the audience is generally, or at least it started out being, my brother. Nice that.
So I had a thought here that I was leaving something out, and so this clip is actually going to go. It's not all linear.
Nice that for me, the one person in the audience is generally, or at least it started out being, my brother.
So I talk more clipped when I'm making vlogs because I know that it's good to cut things out, and so I don't. make long S noises, like my brother, not my brother, with a long R noise, my brother. Because so you heard how I said that, because that's like
Started out being
actually
my
me thinking ahead that it's going to be easier to edit this.
brother. So I knew how to talk. So I knew how to
Also, I'm hitting the space bar to make things play and stop, by the way.
talk to my brother. I knew what would make him happy. You could now that one person has changed, and it's kind of an amalgam of all of. I knew how to talk. So I knew.
And then I'm hitting the arrow key to go back and
So
forth.
I knew how to talk to my brother. I knew what would make him happy.
Eye contact.
You could now that one person has changed, and it's kind of an amalgam of all of Nerdfighteria. It's just each of you individually. I'm trying to imagine all at once. It's very strange.
I was actually just thinking about this, and it would have been better if I had said it's sort of an amalgam of John and like every comment I've ever read and every like interaction I've ever had with someone who watches my videos, because like that's who my audience is now, and it's important to think about who your audience is and to have a good conception of who your audience is. And so it was cool to know that John was my audience, because I knew that like he's someone who I wanted to impress and wanted to work with and wanted to make laugh. And now I feel my audience, it's obviously not, a 17-year-old high school woman, girl, whatever a 17-year-old is, and it's not a 13-year-old boy, and it's not a 45-year-old mom. It's all of those people sort of mashed together. So I think about all of them, and I think about like what would really offend those people, and I avoid things that would really, really offend those people. Like I curse a lot in my everyday life, but I don't do that because I know that moms are watching, and teachers and stuff like that. And I also think about what would be really appealing to those people. If I think that something would be mildly appealing to them, or like really appealing to one bit of it and not very appealing to another bit, I'll still use that. If I think it'd be like mildly offensive to one bit but appealing to another bit, I'll still use that. I'm taking so much time to do this.
Now that one person has changed, and it's kind of an amalgam. Now that one person has changed, and it's kind of an amalgam of all of Nerdfighteria. It's just each of you individually. I'm trying to imagine all at once. It's very strange. Now moving on. There's don't forget to be.
So that's a transition, just a regular transition to like be like, okay, and we're doing the next thing. It wasn't a very good transition, but
Now moving on. There's don't forget.
I wish there could have been a better
Now
transition.
moving on.
there.
There's don't forget
Oops.
to be awesome, which is the most. Now moving on. There's don't forget to be awesome, which is one of the most important rules in life. But there's also, for vlogging, another one. Don't forget to be interesting. Now moving on.
It's so hard not to like judge the way you look when you do this. I'm like, my eyes are puffy, and I feel like a total
Now moving on. There's don't.
metrosexual to be like,
Now moving
I don't
on.
like the
There's
way I
don't forget to
look.
Now moving on. There's don't forget to be awesome, which is one of the most important rules in life. But there's also, for vlogging, another one. Don't forget to be interesting.
This is very important.
Write out scripts sometimes. I even write out scripts sometimes so that I make sure that what I'm saying isn't dull as hell. I even write out scripts sometimes so that I make sure that what I'm saying isn't dull as hell.
See, I would rather have not said hell there, because I think dull as hell is kind of a boring expression. But I didn't want to say what I wanted to say, which was dull as fuck.
I'm going to post the script. I wrote a script for this. I wrote a script for this video. I'm going to post that. I wrote a script for this video. I'm going to post that script on my Tumblr so you can see the difference between the script and what actually gets made into the video. Post that.
And I don't know what, like, why I do the things that I do with my head and my hands. That just happens.
I'm going to post that script on my Tumblr so you can see the difference between the script and what actually gets made into the video. Also never forget that even the best. Also never forget that even the.
And I also remember, like, I screwed up that line a lot, so I'm going to skip
Also
ahead
never
some.
forget that even the best audience, Also never forget that even the best audience, elements of it or all of it, will have a pretty sort of.
God, I was so close.
forget that even the best audience, or even the whole
Nope.
even the best audience, there will be parts of it that will have a very short attention span, and you will have to pander to those people. Best audience,
And we're coming up to the fun part of the video. Because as your video gets longer, it's more important to make it fun. Because people are like, oh my god, I'm still watching this video.
And you will have to pander to those people. But honestly, it's fun. And I truly believe that pandering to those people actually makes your video better. But honestly, it's fun. And I truly believe that pandering to those people actually makes your video better.
I also need to get some glare-free glasses. Jeez. Look at those glares.
There's a lot of ways to keep things interesting. You can move around.
Keep thing interesting? And sometimes I don't even notice when I say something wrong. But it's okay.
There's a lot of ways to keep things interesting. You can move around.
So that was a long D noise, but I'm going to keep some of it in there.
Put some video over your voice.
So this is where I'm going to use that clip
Put
of
some
the
video over your voice.
the flowers. So I got a bee. So I'm going to take this bee. Oh, there's a bird singing too. That's beautiful. Didn't even notice that when I was outside. Nope. There's another thing about Final Cut. There's the down. See the down arrow, and it converts to a sideways arrow. If you do the sideways arrow, it actually breaks and pushes everything out. But if you do the down arrow, then it goes on top.
Put some video over your voice.
See, that's nice, isn't it? It keeps things interesting. And that also has to apply to the rules of the jump cut, where it starts right where the sound starts. Sound starts.
Use prop. You can use props.
Cute, Hank. There's also outside vlog.
Go out.
This is another way to make a cut. I'm marking it in, and I'm marking it out. And then this, I can use the insert, but I'm not actually gonna put that in until I cut all this together. So there's the end of my next clip. It's coming up pretty quick here, so I'm not gonna do that yet. So what did I miss anything in here? Yeah, that was just on me trying to figure out how to use props. Because I was trying to frame the hand so that you couldn't see my hand, but it still looked, you wouldn't miss the joke.
Awesome, funny hats. Awesome. Awesome, funny hats.
Awesome, funny hats.
Awesome, funny hats.
That was a really long ass noise.
Funny hats that you got for your birthday.
I had played the guitar a while before I figured out what I was going to play.
Songs that people have never heard. You can sing, you can sing songs.
Yeah, so I was thinking about doing that longer, but the whole sort of shtick of this is to do it really fast.
You can sing,
I suck.
You can sing songs.
Gonna actually make that the sound go down on that so that it won't be a dramatic cut. No, not that one. No thanks. Go back up. Back. Jeez. Okay. No. Come on. So annoying. So I'm going to pull the clip over that to there, and I don't want it to be an abrupt cutoff. So I faded it out using the fadey tool, and the P button if you're curious to make the point there. So
you can speed things up. You can speed things up.
that was good, actually. I think that was pretty good.
You can speed things up, or you can slow things down. Or you can slow things down.
I mean, it's amazing to me that that basically the Fred show was just the fact that you could speed things up slightly is like that was the only innovation of that show, and it was huge. And I mean, it was good in its way. But yeah.
Use filters.
So that's going to be really quick. Hopefully that will come across. Oh, yes, this. Okay, so I'm going to take this out, and I'm actually going to cut everything out. Cut it all. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. I usually don't actually cut everything until I'm done editing everything, but I don't know why I feel like it's too boring for you people who are watching. Probably because it is. See, this is a very manageable time, actually.
The way that I imagine it is that I'm on a gigantic
Okay.
time so that I make sure that what I'm saying makes your video better. There's a lot of ways to keep things interesting. You can move around, put some video over your voice. You can use props.
Actually, going to put that in the first thing. So, you see where this line is? I'm actually trying to make sure that I don't copy over anything.
Move around. Go outside. Put some video over your voice.
So, nope, I did not like that. So,
go outside. You can sing, you can sing.
that was pretty sure I'm gonna have to do some work on that bit.
Move around. Put some video over your voice. You can use props. Awesome, funny hats.
So, lots of S.
Hats. Go outside.
And then I'm gonna pull this underneath.
You can sing, you can sing.
See how this looks.
You can sing, you can sing songs. You can speed things up.
And that's up here under modify change speed. So what would be faster? I always do it wrong. Faster would be like 150.
You can speed things up.
And then now we do modify change speed. Where are you? God, I can never quite find it. And then that would be like 80%.
Things up.
Or you can slow things down.
That's funny.
Speed things up.
Or you can slow things down.
Usually you see people slowing things down way more than that.
Use filter.
And then I have to choose some filters. So we got some video filters. Glow is always fun. Give myself a bloom. This is going to require rendering. Dazzle. Yeah, dazzle it. That's totally dazzled. Light rays. Okay, this is way too saturated. I'm going to pull this clip up into here so that I can actually check its filters. So I'm not sure what all these things are doing, but I'm going to turn some of them off to see what happens. Yeah, that doesn't... Ooh, okay, if I turn this way up, what's going to happen? Doesn't seem like anything happened. Seemed a little bit, not much though. Brightness... threshold, I don't know what any of that is. Ooh. Okay, that was a pretty good threshold. Spike count. That's increasing the amount of spikes. Okay, that was good for glow. Let's do, I kind of want to desaturate. Where is the desaturate? Let's desaturate highlights. Let's try desaturating the highlights. Whoa. Okay. Now let's render that out and see how it looks. Render. Oh my lord. That's slow. Okay, I'm gonna render the first tiny bit of it.
Use filters.
No, I don't like that. I don't like desaturate highlights. Let's see. Stylize. Add noise. Find edges. Okay, I'm going to add some noise. Yeah. Now I want to desaturate that, but I don't know how to do it. I do it all the time. Desaturate highs, desaturate lows, distort. My goodness, there are so many options. Where the frick? I thought it was under color correction. Image control. It's under image control, of course. Not all the way, though. Okay. That looks weird, and that was the goal, for it to look weird. I think maybe a little less noise. So that's good. Obviously, I'm going to need to render that eventually, but still, this is gonna be plenty of time left in this video.
You can use puppets. You can use puppets.
This is the voice for Hank Sock. I did not do the voice because I was down too low for the mic to pick it up well, I thought, probably. So let's get Hank Sock.
You can use puppets.
So there's Hank Sock, putting him in.
You can speed things up.
Or you can slow things down.
Use filters. You can use puppets.
So let's bring this audio track over here and bring this audio track so you can't hear it, because having both of them wouldn't be good. So you heard how quiet that was.
And you can use puppets.
I was a little late.
And you can use puppets.
That was good. And that's unnecessary. And then I'm sure I probably refocused here. If I didn't, then that would suck.
Idea is interesting. It's about
Okay.
It's not about having ideas for videos.
And then this part was all improv. I didn't write any of this down. Focus.
A lot of times people ask me how I get ideas for videos, but really, it's not about having.
How long have I been doing this for? 43 minutes to edit 2 minutes of video.
A lot of times people ask me how I get ideas for videos, but really, it's not about having ideas for videos. That's easy. A lot of times people ask me how I get ideas for videos, but really, it's not about having ideas for videos. That's easy. Having ideas for videos, that's easy. It's about figure out how to make those. Mostly, I'm trying to figure out how to make those ideas interesting. Mostly, I'm trying to figure out how to make those ideas interesting.
That is true. Some people just do interesting things and they don't think at all about the idea. Like Mystery Guitarman's videos are just interesting. They're not trying to do anything. They're just interesting. Whereas that would be too hard for me. So I have to have the idea making it interesting as well as the execution.
Another very important rule: silence. Another very important rule: silence. Important rule. Another very important rule: silence.
So there's some silence for you. That was a lot. It's like 15 frames of silence. It's a lot. But what I'm going to do with it is I'm actually going to pull the audio of the next thing under it so that the silence seems to be extended by the fact that the frame hasn't cut, by the fact that I'm still looking at you and not saying anything, but there isn't silence anymore you know, I'm probably going to use like 4 frames into the silence to actually cut off the boringness of the silence.
Is extremely powerful. Use it very sparingly.
And I don't know if I'm going to do that, actually. I'm going to try it.
Is extremely powerful. Use it very sparingly. Have you...
Mm-hmm. So let's see how this goes.
Another very important rule, silence.
Get this up here so I can pull this under.
Is extremely powerful.
So you see there was a little bit of a snap there where I led it with the audio and then did the visual cut.
Is extremely powerful. Use it very...
Which makes the silence a little bit more powerful.
If you watch one of my videos, you will notice that there are very few moments that do not have sound in them. And that is especially true of the space. If you watch one of my videos, you will notice that there are very few moments that do not have sound in them. That is especially true of the space, and that is especially true of the space around jump cuts. Especially true. And that is especially true of the space around jump cuts.
So this is actually taking less time than I thought it would.
Bad around a jump cut is silence. Any silence around a jump cut is bad.
It's true. It's bad. It really frustrates me.
And finally, let's talk about editing. No, we're not going to do that because that would take forever. And finally, let's talk about editing. No, we're not going to do that because that would take forever, and there's very little time left in this video.
Instead, you're doing this. We're doing the thing I'm doing right now.
Instead, I'm literally going to post a screen capture of me editing this vlog.
I'm doing that right now. That's so weird.
So instead, I'm literally going to post a screen capture of me editing this vlog.
Why did you turn away, Hank? Ah, darn it.
Second channel at youtube.com/HanksChannel. I'm going to put that on my second channel at youtube.com/HanksChannel.
I didn't do it well that time, but then I went on and did it much worse.
youtube.com/HanksChannel. HanksChannel.
And I decided I wanted to keep that one because that was funny.
I'm going to put that on my second channel at youtube.com/HanksChannel. HanksChannel. That on my second. I'm going to put that on my second channel at youtube.com/HanksChannel. HanksChannel. And I'm going to show you all the I'm going to show you all the tricks I used it and you will be able to see how to do all the tricks I used, and you'll be able to see how I made this video, how I did all the tricks I did in this video, and all the things that I do to make my video blog seem professional and crisp and good and entertaining and all of those things. And
probably should have taken out the word seem, but that's the take I did, and that's the one. That's the last one I did.
And all of those things.
So that's the one I keep.
So that's how you vlog. Of course, you can do it however you want to do it. So that's how you vlog. Of course, you can do it however you want to do it.
I'm always fascinated by people who really hate my style of vlogging, and I'm just like, I cannot do it any other way. It seems to be fairly effective. People enjoy it. But like sometimes people just think like, oh my God, this guy's way too over the top. Why are there so many jump cuts? Why is he talking like that? And I don't know. Some people really hate it. I remember early on, like I had a video get featured on Gizmodo or Engadget, and it got ripped to pieces in the comments. People were just like tearing it apart. They hated it.
But I figure people might be interested.
You know,
But I figure people might be interested in seeing how I do it.
it is what it is.
But I figure people might be interested in seeing how I do it.
To each his own.
To vlog, and I encourage you to try. I encourage all of you to vlog, and I encourage you to do it well.
And that is where I remembered that I forgot something in the
I encourage
script.
all of you to vlog, and I encourage you to do it well.
And so I'm going to be putting that, rearranging that.
The video of me editing this vlog might not. The video of me editing this vlog might not be online as soon as this goes up on the internet, but it will be online shortly thereafter, and there will be a link to it in the end screen. The video of me editing this vlog might not be online as soon as this goes up on the internet, but it will be online shortly thereafter, and there will be a link to it in the end screen. Another important rule. Do not be afraid to try.
I forgot. This is the part that I forgot, and I'm recording it, and I'll be putting it
Another important rule.
somewhere.
Do not be afraid to try.
This is a very important idea to me.
I know that failing stings a lot less. I know that failing at something stings a lot less if you didn't really try hard, but it's also much more likely. I know that failing at something stings a lot less.
It's
if
just
you didn't
cowardice,
really try
you know,
hard,
like everybody's afraid of stuff, but that's what it comes down to. And you know, I think sometimes about people I knew in high school who like literally failed out because they were so afraid of failing that they figured they might as well just try to fail, and that way at least it wouldn't be their fault. And that's such a dangerous mentality to like get a hold of you. So yeah, I did want to say this, and I maybe shouldn't have used the word cowardice because obviously we're all afraid of lots of things, and that has a pretty gigantically negative connotation. But
it's also much more likely. John, I will see you on Friday. John, I will see you on Friday. John, I will see you on Monday.
yes, I did it wrong twice.
John, I will see you on Monday.
Despite the fact that it said, John, I will see you on Monday in the script.
John, I'll see you on Monday. And John, and finally, John, I'll see you on Monday. And finally,
So.
and finally,
Oh.
and finally, John, I'll see you on Monday.
You can also see the little audio monitor up here. There's no, these lights have not turned on, which means that I did not peak throughout the entire video, which is because I have my mic set to sort of like exactly what it needs to be set to for vlogging, because after some trial and error, when I got this new camera, if you watch those old videos, there's some pretty bad audio in some of those because I was figuring it out. So now we are done with the making of the cuts. So now we just have to crispen the things up and see and rearrange some things. So we're going to do that now. So let's start watching the beginning.
Morning, John. Today I want to do something a little bit different that might not be appealing to everyone. I'm going to make a video about making videos. And of course, if you don't care about making videos, I promise I'm going to do my best to make it entertaining nonetheless. Okay, first let's talk about what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to talk about your equipment. I don't care what kind of camera you have. I don't care what kind of computer you have or what kind of software you have. This is not about that. I believe that skill is honed by lack, and there's no reason to have a sword made of Valerian steel if you're just learning how to wield a knife. So let us talk first about what's actually...
I'm pulling everything over, which is something that I don't like to have to do.
How to wield a knife. So let us talk first about what's actually important, which is how to look and sound. Important thing, the rule of thirds.
I'm going to put a little note there. Important thing. Text. Outline text. I use outline text. John uses just text. A lot of people just use text. I like outline text because it's easier to see. So important thing. And then I'm going to use the font I've been using lately because I like it. So that looks good. And then you just drag it on down in there. Gotta get it in the right place.
Really important, which is how to look and sound. Important.
That seems a little too big. So let's make it smaller. Because I want it to also put the rule of thirds right next to it. So important thing.
Important thing, the rule of thirds.
So important
The
thing.
rule.
And then bonk. And then bonk. And then bonk. I'm just making a copy of it and I'm putting it here. So now there's two things that say important thing. And now I'm going to move that one there and change it to say the rule of thirds.
Thing, the rule of thirds.
Nope, that didn't work. Why didn't that work? Rule of thirds. Please? Yes, okay. I don't know why that didn't work.
Important thing, the rule of thirds. Divide your screen into thirds this way and this way.
And then I'm going to cut that out. Don't need that anymore. Just interesting visual things to happen on the screen.
One of the interesting things about vlogging is that early on, both the eyes and the mouth were falling on those lines. But now that screens have gotten a little bit bigger.
Then I looked away at the end of that, so I'm going to get rid of that. Problematic that there's all of this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Too far. There we go.
Lines. But now that screens have gotten a little bit bigger, generally it's just the eyes that are falling on the line. Because the eyes, not the mouth, actually are the most important element of your frame. I think that says something fundamental about human nature. Just not sure what it is. Now, how you sound. Imagine for a moment me going downstairs and talking to my wife the way that I talk while I'm vlogging. That does not happen. This is not my normal talking voice. Surprise, surprise.
Moving this underneath a little bit.
The way that I imagine it is that I'm on a gigantic stage, and there is one person in the audience, and I'm talking to that one person, but I can't talk to them like a normal person because I'm on a gigantic stage.
Actually, think that doesn't need overlap.
Now this is obvious.
It does. It's all about how I feel.
Gigantic stage. Now this is obviously a difficult thing to hone. You're not gonna get your vlogging voice immediately. Watch early Vlogbrothers videos and see that we sucked too when we started. Nice that for me, the one person in the audience is
Also, when we started, we were obsessed with Zay Frank, and he's a really good
generally,
vlogger,
or at least
so,
started out being my brother.
which was nice to have a good mentor.
So I knew how to talk to my brother.
So this one, the long S sound is actually at the beginning, not the end, so I'm pulling that underneath. So you hear the beginning of the S, but
So I knew how to talk to my brother. I knew what.
it's actually like you subconsciously hear it. Like when I listen to it, I can't hear the S, but I know that I say so, not O.
Started out being my brother. So I knew how to talk to my brother.
Yeah,
I
it's
knew
there just a
what
little
would
bit.
make him happy.
So let's see how that goes.
Now that one person has
That's good.
changed, and it's kind of an amalgam of all of Nerdfighteria. It's just each of you individually. I'm trying to imagine all at once. It's very strange.
And then
Now moving on. Don't forget to be awesome. I even write out scripts sometimes so that I make sure that. Hell, I wrote a script for this video. I'm gonna post. Also, never forget that even the best audience, they're pander to those people. But honestly, it's fun. And
where's
what
that
would
bit where I
make him
talked
happy?
about John?
Now that one person has changed, and it's kind of an amalgam. My brother, I knew what would
Oh.
make him happy. Now that one person has changed.
Interesting. I thought there was a clip I had to move there.
Strange. Now, individually, I'm trying to imagine all at once. It's very strange. Now moving on.
So that's another transition. It's okay to have a tiny bit of silence. See that tiny bit of silence there for the transition?
Strange. Now moving on. Don't forget to be awesome, which is one of the most important rules in life. But there's also, for vlogging, another one. Don't forget to be interesting.
That was actually good too.
I even write out scripts.
Maybe a tiny bit. Tiny bit. John doesn't do this, so
I even write out scripts sometimes so that I make sure that what I'm
just
saying
have gotten obsessed
isn't
with it.
dull as hell. Dull as hell. I wrote a script for this video. I'm going to post that script on my Tumblr so you can see the difference between the script and what actually gets made into the video. Also, never forget.
So here's another transition. Okay to have some space.
Also, never forget that even the best audience, there will be parts of it that will have a very short attention span, and you will have to pander to those people. But honestly, it's fun.
I was really quiet at the end.
But honestly, it's fun.
I don't know. Just too quiet.
But honestly, it's fun, and I truly believe that pandering to those people actually makes your video better. There's a lot of ways to keep things.
So now we begin the fun part.
There's a lot of ways to keep things interesting. You can move around, put some video over your voice. You can use props, awesome, funny hats.
Go outside.
You can sing songs.
You can speed things up.
Or you can slow things down.
Use filters, and you can use puppets.
That was actually a little loud, interestingly. I'm not sure why, but it was.
And you can use puppets.
I was just really close to the mic, I guess. So, gunk gunk.
A lot of times people ask me how I get ideas.
This is a transition, but there is no transition. So, hopefully that's not confusing for people. Sorry, I'm adjusting my... I just gotta adjust my mic. It was hurting
A
my
lot of times
ears.
people ask me how I get ideas for videos, but really, it's not about having ideas for videos. That's easy.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Easy. Mostly, I'm trying to figure out how to make those ideas interesting. Another very important.
Oh. Sometimes I accidentally hit the N button, which turns off the snapping. The snapping is very useful. So I move the playhead around. So like, I haven't talked about this, about how I'm actually doing this, but I find the middle and then I move it a couple of frames by hitting the button. So I'm moving this playhead, which is this yellow thing. And then I snap, I pull this, I've got both of those selected. And then I would, so I move that to the middle, then I pull it back, 1, 2, 3, and then jerk that over a little bit and try to get it to snap to the playhead. So it's trying to snap to various different things, but it's snapping to the playhead.
Interesting. Another very important rule: silence is extremely powerful. Use it very sparingly. If you watch one of my videos, you will notice that there are very few
This video looks like a little bit oversaturated. I probably should have done
moments
color
that do
correction
not
on it,
have
but I
sound in them.
didn't. And I'm not going to, because it's going to take too long. And I don't know how to do it well, because I've never learned.
sound in them, and that is especially true of the space around jump cuts.
Oh, S's.
Any silence around a jump cut is bad, 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 bad. And finally, let's talk about editing. No, we're not going to do that because that would take forever, and there's very little time left in this video. That would take forever.
So I'm going to take out the part where I say there's very little time left in this video, because there's obviously like a minute left in this video. But it's okay to have videos that are not 4 minutes long.
Take forever. So instead, I am literally going to post a screen capture of me editing this vlog.
And I know you're thinking, like, Hank, I can't believe you spent so much time on this. You spent over an hour just editing this video, not even including the writing and the... But come on, I mean, this is, like, this is a very important part of what I do, and... I'm very serious about making these good, and, you know, lots of people watch them, so it's... the amount of time that I spend on them is far, far smaller than the amount of time that people spend watching them. So I never feel bad about spending time doing this.
And you'll be able to see how I made this video, how I did all the tricks I did in this video, and all the things that I do to make my video blog seem professional and crisp and good and entertaining and all of those things.
I forgot. Where should I put that last rule?
If you watch one of my videos, you will notice that there are very few moments that do not have sound in them, and that is especially true of the space around jump cuts. Any silence around a jump cut, bad! And finally, let's talk about editing. No, we're...
So maybe I should put it there. Nope, get everything. Just grab everything, Hank, and pull it up, pull it out. So...
in the end screen. Another important rule. Do...
So that probably goes here.
Bad, bad! Another important rule. Do not be afraid to try.
Just a little, like, one frame.
I know that failing...
No, it's more than that.
Try. I know that failing at something stings a lot less if you didn't really try hard, but it's also...
Moving this. So it's easier to combine these two things. It's easier to pull this in without things overlapping.
more likely. likely. And finally, much more likely. And finally, let's...
That was too much. Play ahead. Play ahead.
Likely. And finally, let's talk about editing. No, we're not going to do that because that would take forever. So instead, I'm literally going to post a screen capture of me editing this vlog. I'm gonna put that on my second channel at youtube.com/HanksChannel, and then you'll be able to see how I made this video, how I did all the tricks I did in this video, and all the things that I do to make my video blogs seem professional and crisp and good and entertaining and all of those things. So that's how you vlog. Of course, you can do it however you want to do it.
I asked if people watch this whole thing.
But I figure people might be interested in seeing how I do it. I encourage all of you to vlog, and I encourage you to do it well. The video... Well, the video of me editing this vlog might not be online as soon as this goes up on the internet, but it will be online shortly thereafter, and there will be a link to it in the end screen. End screen. And finally, John, I'll see you on Monday.
Actually, I didn't actually like that take. I've got others, so...
I'll see you on Monday. And John? And John? And finally, John,
Nope.
John, I'll see you on Monday. John, I'll see you on... John...
Like that one.
John, I'll see you on Monday.
That seemed more conclusive and like its own thing and not like it was trying to tie in with this. And I'm not going to do a full end screen on this. I'm just going to do some text. Watch me edit this video. That's what you're doing now. Click here. And then Fox. Fox, it's the name of the font. It's not a bad word. And it's done! Oh my god! We did it! Can you believe it? It's only been an hour and 7 minutes! Oh, well, it doesn't usually take me that long, but I was talking to you guys a lot, and I hope you don't. I mean, you will have had to have carved out a lot of time to watch this if you did. So I'm impressed. If you did, if you didn't, that's fine too. But you're obviously not hearing this unless you skip to the end, and that's also fine. So thank you. I hope that this was educational for those of you who want to make good vlogs. If you don't use Final Cut, that is fine. I'll put a link to it if you want to buy it from Amazon in the description. And if you do, then I'll probably make some money off of the affiliate sales, so that's nice. But if you don't use Mac, there's still lots of good editing software. Sony Vegas is great. And if you do have a Mac, you probably should just use Final Cut because it's the best Mac editing software. Unless you don't want to pay for it, and then you should just use iMovie. And actually, let me suggest to you, for people who don't want to pay for editing software, do not use the current version of iMovie. Use iMovie HD, which is much, much, much better for actually if you want to make a video instead of make a video your way. Instead of making a video Apple's way, because they're like, oh, you could it's so much fun. It's for making home movies. It's not for making content that people will enjoy watching unless they are related to you. So, yeah, iMovie HD. It's the old version of iMovie that John and I used when we started this process. And you won't be able to... iMovie HD doesn't have multiple tracks, so you won't be able to move the video over the other video or do transparency or stuff like that. But I think it has multiple audio tracks. Yeah, it does. So that's good. I don't use music in my videos, but a lot of people do, and do it to great effect. I don't really know how. I'd like to have a tutorial. Someone teach me how to do that. But yeah, so iMovie HD will be great. It's not, it has some limitations that Final Cut doesn't have, but it's free. So get that if you don't want to pay money. And that is all. Thank you for watching me play Assassin's Creed Brotherhood 2.0. That's just how I feel right now. You will not see me, and I will not see you next time when you watch me play another video. Actually, I may put a link to my QWOP video, as well. So let's do that. See, this is actually just transparent over over black. It's not doesn't have the black background built in. I clicked on that dude. And I'm going to make a link to Quap here. Watch me play Quap. For people who don't. For people who don't care, watch me play Quap here. Okay. So actually I'm going to move this up here, and I'm going to move this down here. I'm going to take out those click here's because that's dumb. I don't like those. And I'm also going to make it bigger by doing this. Watch me edit this video. And then, who don't care, watch me play Quap. Okay, that is it. I am totally done now. I'm probably still going to watch it again and make some very small changes. But that's it. Obviously, long video. Maybe I'll edit it down some, but yeah. Goodbye.